breaking financial alert, banks across America are quietly preparing for possible fund delays, frozen accounts, and slow transfers as the 2025 government shutdown looms closer. From Social Security checks and veterans payments to SNAP benefits and tax refunds, millions of Americans could see their funds stuck in limbo if Washington fails to reach a deal. In this report, we'll break down how a shutdown could affect bank transactions and direct deposits. Why even private banks are sounding the alarm. What you can do right now to protect your money before it's too late. The warning that shook the banking sector. Major U.S. banks are now issuing internal memos and public advisories ahead of the potential shutdown. They're warning customers that federal transactions could be delayed, not because of system issues, but due to government funding gaps. Here's why this matters. Over 70 million Americans rely on federal direct deposits every month. Shutdowns can temporarily pause Treasury processing, delaying disbursements. Even though banks remain open, they can't clear funds that haven't been released. In short, if the government doesn't pay, your bank can't either. What exactly could be frozen or delayed? This is where it gets serious. The following payments could face delays or temporary holds if the shutdown goes beyond a few days: Social Security and SSI deposits, federal employee paychecks, tax refunds from the IRS, veterans benefits, VA, SNAP and EBT card reloads. Banks are already warning customers that processing times for deposits, transfers, and even ATM withdrawals may be slower if federal systems go offline. Even if you use private banks like Chase, Wells Fargo, or Bank of America, you're still connected to federal clearing systems for government-issued payments. Why this shutdown is different? This isn't the first government shutdown threat, but 2025 is shaping up to be one of the most dangerous for the banking system. Why? The Treasury's cash reserves are already thin after inflation relief programs. Agencies like the IRS and SSA are operating on temporary extensions. A prolonged shutdown could stall not just benefits, but financial operations nationwide. In simple terms, the digital pipeline between the U.S. Treasury and your bank could get clogged, even if your account balance shows pending. How banks are responding. Many financial institutions are activating emergency contingency plans right now. Here's what some are doing: setting up manual clearing protocols for certain deposits, warning customers about ACH transfer delays, advising people to keep extra cash on hand for essentials. Some banks may even limit daily withdrawals or transfers temporarily to prevent system overloads or liquidity shortages. It's not panic, it's preparation. What customers should do now. If the shutdown becomes official, here's how you can safeguard your money: withdraw enough cash for at least 1 week of essential expenses. Avoid large online transfers or payments that depend on federal systems. Monitor your direct deposits daily for any delays or failed transactions. Keep screenshots or records of expected deposits. Proof matters if funds are stuck. For Social Security or VA recipients, set alerts through your bank app so you know the moment a deposit clears. What happens to Social Security and SSI? Social Security benefits are technically mandatory spending, but distribution depends on Treasury operations. If the Treasury's payment systems pause, even briefly, your direct deposit could be delayed by several days. The Social Security Administration may issue checks on schedule, but banks can't release funds until they receive Treasury confirmation. Electronic deposits may show pending without a clear date. In past shutdowns, some seniors waited 5 to 10 extra days to access their money. IRS refunds and federal paychecks. The IRS and federal payroll systems are among the first to be affected. During a shutdown, IRS workers are furloughed, halting refund processing. Federal employee paychecks are delayed or cancelled until funding resumes. Treasurer-backed services like savings bonds or tax credits are paused. That means your expected tax refund or earned income credit could take weeks longer, even if you've already filed. Private banks can't fix this alone. Here's the critical point: even though private banks manage your account, they rely on federal systems for verification, clearance, and deposits. No bank, not even the largest, can process federal funds if the Treasury stops issuing them. This includes Social Security checks, veteran payments, SNAP recharges, IRS refunds. Banks may display pending deposit statuses to avoid panic, but the money won't actually arrive until the government sends it. Expert warnings and economic fallout. Financial analysts warn that even a short shutdown could ripple across the economy. Small businesses relying on federal contracts may lose income. Consumers could cut spending due to uncertainty. The stock market may see temporary dips in bank and retail sectors. And for everyday Americans, this means one thing: plan for possible payment disruptions now rather than waiting. Final takeaway. Let's recap. A 2025 government shutdown could delay or freeze bank deposits tied to federal funds. Social Security, SSI, VA, IRS refunds, and SNAP are most at risk. Private banks are warning customers early to prepare for disruptions. The safest move is to keep emergency cash, track payments, and stay informed. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe for the latest on Social Security, SNAP, and government updates that directly impact your money. Thanks for watching. Stay alert, stay prepared, and take